Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie. In this video, I want to give you guys my thoughts of last night's season opener for the New York Knicks. As we all know, they fell short in overtime to the Memphis Grizzlies, unfortunately. But I saw a lot of good things last night from the Knicks, man. Obviously, we're not coming out with the W, and it is very frustrating. We saw the resurgence of Cam Reddish taking advantage of his opportunity with Quentin Grimes being out in that game. Julius Randle had an awesome game as well. Unfortunately, he had to go get fouled out in that overtime, which I really think hurt that team late in that overtime stretch. Jalen Brunson, his season debut, looked impressive. RJ Barrett had a very bad game. Him and Mitchell Robinson both struggled so much. So in this video, I want to give you guys my overall thoughts of what we really saw from the New York Knicks last night, and we can really get a good evaluation of what to expect from this Knicks team for the rest of the season. So before I hop into the video, I just want to mention, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you want to hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate that. And most importantly, feel free to comment down below your thoughts of last night's game of the Knicks and the Grizzlies down below in the comment section. I love to hear what you guys have to say because, you know, Knicks basketball is back, and what kind of game was that last night that doesn't remind you of Knicks basketball? We're getting blown out all game. We come back. They win our hearts back just to get heartbroken in the end. It feels like Knicks basketball is back. Am I right? So without further ado, man, let's get right into the game. You look at the box score. Obviously, it was just not a good game at all for RJ Barrett. We'll start off with the negatives. 38 minutes, 3 of 18, 0-6 for downtown, 5 of 6 from the stripe, 8 boards, and, man, just 11 points. So RJ Barrett, it felt like he was trying to force his hand a little too much. And if you guys watched my preview stream, I always said that, you know, RJ Barrett has a bad habit of starting off season slow. And now this is the perfect example of starting off slow that I really do not want to see from RJ Barrett. After getting that big-time extension from the New York Knicks, you cannot go out there and stink it up like that on national television. It is only one game. He has 81 more games to prove himself, and I'm not really concerned about RJ Barrett at all, but it is a little concerning that he's still, you know, inefficient at the rim. He's missing his shots, but we saw RJ Barrett in the preseason really light it up, so I'm not really concerned about it for the rest of the season, but it is concerning because you can't really expect the Knicks to win a ball game when you have RJ putting up these type of numbers. And the fact is, we were in overtime and almost won that game with RJ stinking it up. So can you imagine what the Knicks will do if RJ gets it going? And the cool thing about this team is we're really deep. When RJ's off, we have Cam Reddish to step up and really help us win this game potentially. Mitchell Robinson was off. He was in foul trouble all game. We have Isaiah Hartenstein, who came off the bench to play 40 minutes to really help us potentially win that game. So the depth on this team is real, where it's going to be somebody else each and every game that really step up. And that's really what I noticed from this Knicks squad last night, is even if someone's going to be cold, we have a lot of guys on this team that can step up and really, you know, take over the role for a guy like RJ in terms of Cam Reddish. So now that's really the negatives. I really liked what I saw from this Knicks team really fighting their way back, you know, being down by 19 in the third quarter and still having the whereabouts to understand that they got to, you know, fight their way back. Evan Fournier and Julius Randle was a big part of that comeback, and Jalen Brunson, of course, and Cam Reddish. So if you look at Julius Randle's game, I really want to talk about him because he put up, this is like the best Julius Randle that we've seen in a long time. 24 points, 11 boards, 6 dimes, 9 of 16 from the field, very efficient. And I said all offseason, man, Jalen Brunson can really open up Julius Randle's game. And if Randle looks comfortable in his role of not being the guy and allowing Brunson to run the show at times and playing off the ball and bullying people down low, still hitting his shots from downtown and, you know, making the right reads and, you know, facilitating the rock when necessary, not turning the ball over, you know, it was really impressive. I really loved what I saw from Julius Randle last night. It was unfortunate that he had to get fouled out in that overtime period because I really feel like if he did not get fouled out, we had a chance to win that game in the end of the overtime. We saw that the Knicks were struggling to get baskets at the end of the overtime with Brunson and just trying to force the stripe, and we were just so close. I mean, Brunson had multiple opportunities to take the lead late in that overtime stretch, but unfortunately for him, the buckets did not fall. So Julius Randle, man, if we get this Randle for the rest of the season, we're going to be a good basketball team because I feel like Knicks fans need to understand that Randle is no bum. He is a good basketball player. The problem with him last year was his mentality and his ability to not get his teammates involved and being a selfish guy and not being, you know, a leader on the court and kind of feeling like a me guy, where, well, we saw him in this game really, you know, open up his game. He was aggressive at the right times. He was getting his teammates involved at the right times and play with good energy. So great stuff from Julius Randle in the opener. And Jalen Brunson, talk about Brunson in his Knicks debut, 7 of 18 from the field, 15 points. The most impressive stat, 9 assists to 0 turnovers. Man, you can tell how different this team looks with Jalen Brunson, man. You just have a sense of calmness at the end of the game when Jalen Brunson is running the show. It's kind of just a point guard that is an extension of the coaching staff on the court, just knowing where the ball needs to go, not making those boneheaded mistakes, organizing everybody, making sure that you're over there and I'm going to get you the ball. On pick and rolls, he's making the right decisions. Am I going to take this shot myself, or am I going to feed it in the corner to a shooter like Fournier or Reddish or RJ, whoever it is, or am I going to dish it down low to a center like Hartenstein for the nice little floater in the paint, which I really like, or Mitchell Robinson down low. So Jalen Brunson, he really opens up this team to a different dimension, and you can tell how different this team looks with the traditional point guard out there that is 25 years old in the prime of his career. He didn't light up the box score with just 15 points, but he did have 9 assists to 0 turnovers, and that really speaks volumes to how important it is to have a point guard on this team. So Jalen Brunson really impressed me in that one. Hopefully he can hit those clutch shots a little more later in the season, hopefully. And then Cam Reddish. Cam Hive, where you at? Cam finally took advantage of his opportunity, man. With Quentin Grimes out, he was in the rotation, off the bench, and Coach Thibodeau had to give him all the minutes in the fourth quarter because of how good he was playing. Off the bench, he had 22 points, 9 of 15 from the field, 5 rebounds, and what Tom Thibodeau is going to love is 3 steals, 1 block. Cam Reddish in the clutch. First of all, that three-pointer he hit was wet to force overtime, but he was finishing with the left, finishing with the right, in transition, two-handed dunks. The confidence that he has. When we traded for Cam Reddish, this is what Knicks fans were excited about because we know there's untapped potential with Cam Reddish. When we saw when he was on the Atlanta Hawks and they gave him the starting role and they gave Cam Reddish an opportunity to play, which was not a lot of times in Atlanta, he took advantage of those opportunities, dropped 30 points and dropped 20 points. It looks like a really good player. So now the Knicks have a really interesting, good problem on their hand because when Quentin Grimes gets back, I don't know what they're going to do with the rotation, but Cam Reddish is proving that he needs to be in this rotation because he's way too talented of a player to not be getting significant minutes all throughout this season. So Cam Reddish really impressed me. His defense was awesome as well. He really has a good knack of finding the ball defensively. He has quick hands. It's like that sleight of hand is poking the ball out, getting into the passing lanes, and of course hitting his jump shots and driving to the paint. He looks so fluid out there. His size, his athleticism, his length is really impressive, and I feel like Cam Reddish has a lot to prove this season in a contract year, and I am really excited to see his development for the rest of the season. And then getting into Isaiah Hartenstein, man, he looks really good off the bench. Shout out to the 2 brand new players on this Knicks squad, Jalen Brunson and Isaiah Hartenstein. They both stepped up big time. 40 minutes, Isaiah Hartenstein playing, 16 points, 7 of 11 from the field, and that was awesome to see. 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block shot. Listen, man, Isaiah Hartenstein, we never really have a center on this Knicks team that can do the stuff that Isaiah Hartenstein is capable of. He didn't hit any of his 3-pointers, but he was hitting the floaters, the little teardroppers. He was playing with a lot of energy. He was a big reason for that comeback. He has a heart. He just feels like a guy that Knicks fans are going to fall in love with because when you play 40 minutes for Tom Thibodeau and you put up that type of impact, you could tell that Knicks fans are just going to fall in love with him. And I loved what I saw from Isaiah Hartenstein. And then a couple players that did not play well. Emmanuel Quickly, no field goals, 17 minutes, 0 points. Obi Toppin, 1 of 3 in 13 minutes. Derrick Rose only got 12 minutes, and he shot 2 of 8 from the field. So the bench didn't really do a lot outside of Cam Reddish and Isaiah Hartenstein. And Mitchell Robinson and RJ Barrett really stunk it up. Mitchell Robinson was just in foul trouble. Steven Adams is a lot to handle. And then Evan Fournier, he had a chance to tie the game at the end. He had a really good look, really good patience in the corner to pump fake, get a good look off. Just short, man. I thought that was going to fall. I thought it was the opener against the Boston Celtics last year all over again. But, hey, man, the Knicks lose this one. I really think that even though we lost this game, this showed us a lot about this team that we're going to be fighting. And we went up against one of the best teams in the Western Conference. They were the 2nd seed last year. Ja Morant is a superstar. We all know what he brings to the table in a hostile environment in Memphis. For the Knicks to come from behind from 19 points to force overtime to potentially win the game when it mattered the most in overtime, it really was impressive. And now I'm not here to say moral victories and we should be happy over a loss. That's not what I'm saying. But the fact is, we look like a tough team, and we're playing good defense. We have a really good point guard, Jalen Brunson. If Julius Randle can continue to play the way he's playing, if RJ Barrett can get himself together and really make an improvement this year, then this Knicks team is going to be good this season. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, the biggest improvements we need to see is obviously from RJ Barrett. We need to see Mitchell Robinson not get into foul trouble because he's a big piece to this team. And we'll see if Cam Reddish continues to light it up. I'll be at the Knicks game tomorrow night for the home opener. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section of this game. Love to hear what you guys have to say. Please do not forget to like the video if you guys enjoy. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Let's go Knicks, and let's get that dub tomorrow night at the Garden. Peace out.